become a coaster? When did you become a coaster enthusiast?
I became a coaster enthusiast about 4 years ago when I was a freshman at Ohio State.
Good deal, good deal. So, I guess the next question would be how many times do you think you've been to Cedar Point? Or I guess Cedar Fair parks in general since then.
Well, more specifically, Cedar Point, I've been about 20 times each season. So that would be give or take 80 times over the past 4 years. And I've also been to Kings Island probably about 50 times, and also a few other Cedar Fair parks 1 or 2 times. So definitely over 100 times at the Cedar Fair parks.
How do you like? Do you have to pay each time you go to these Cedar Fair parks?
Well, what I do is I'm a member of the Platinum Pass, and I buy that at the start of every season. And the Platinum Pass allows me to get into all of the Cedar Fair parks, and I also get free parking. In addition, there are other perks such as early entry, and some nights they'll even have um, exclusive ride times for Platinum Pass holders. So that is about $180 a season. And with parking being $12 each time I go and wanting to explore other parks, it is a tremendous saving on my behalf because tickets per time you go are about $50.
Jeez. Um. So, I guess my next question would be how you said you get early entry. It
Yes.
sounds like it'd be a good perk. Is that would that be your favorite perk, or do you have a different favorite perk?
That would probably be my favorite perk. We get into the park an hour before the general public does, so it allows me and whoever I'm going with to get on the more popular rides, and you get on and you can ride them a couple of times or go to various popular rides and get a chance to not have to wait in line for these rides that would normally be an hour to 2 hours during the day.
That's sounds pretty sweet.
It is.
Um. So do you get these perks at every Cedar Fair park that you go to, or just specifically Cedar Point or Kings Island, or?
No, you get them at every Cedar Fair park, and then also with that, if you have, uh, they have drink specials and food specials. So as a season or platinum pass holder, it's very beneficial since I'm at the park many times during the year, and also being able to save on their hotels that they have. That's also nice, and you get a discount when you stay at the hotels, and you can go the night before, and then that allows you to spend the night there and then go for early entry the next day.
Sounds great. Um, I would love to go visit all the Cedar Fair parks around the country. Sounds like a good deal. But what is your favorite Cedar Fair park?
Well, I think I'm biased because I have gone to Cedar Point so many times, but I would have to say that Cedar Point is my favorite park for numerous reasons. For one, the layout, it's a peninsula, so I love being around, surrounded by the water. It makes for great views, so when you are up to 300, 400 feet in the air on these roller coasters, you look around and you see water and boats, and it's very beautiful, and that's one of the main reasons I love Cedar Point, in addition to them having the most roller coasters any amusement park has. And they just actually recently added a new roller coaster this year, and it is a wing coaster, so they're always adding new rides every year and just making sure that their customers are being taken care of. So I have to love Cedar Point the most.
Now I've been up there to check out Gatekeeper. Um, how did you like it, first of all?
I loved it. I actually went to their media day, so one of the perks of being a coaster in a coaster fan club is you are invited to their media day, which is exclusive to certain clubs in the media. And I was actually there at about 4 in the morning, and We stood in line to ride Gatekeeper, and I was probably the first 150 people to ever ride the ride, and it was an amazing experience. And I'd have to say it's the only wing coaster that I've ever ridden, but I loved it, and I am looking forward to Kings Island's wing coaster that will be out in the spring.
King's Island
I know.
coaster is actually an invert, but
All right,
they're building a new coaster regardless. What's your favorite seat on Gatekeeper? 'Cause I know mine's the front right.
I would have to say the front or the back. It's really interesting because you ride in the front and then you ride in the back, and it's a completely different experience. So you almost feel like you're riding on two different rides.
Right. Which side do you prefer, left or right?
I prefer the right, but I also first rode it on the right, so I think that's just what I'm used to. But both of them give a great different appeal, and so it just depends what mood I'm in, I'd say.
What is Gatekeeper your favorite ride at Cedar Point, or do you have another favorite, or do you have a list of favorites, like top 5, or?
Well, I do love the Millennium Force. It is the #1 steel roller coaster in the world, and it has been for multiple years that it has been existed since 2000. And I just have to say that the ride itself, the length of the time, it's over 3 minutes, and just the entire experience, the drop that you're going up, and well, it's a giga coaster, so it is 320 feet tall, and when you go down that first initial drop, you just don't even know what to do. You don't know what hit you, and it is just a rush that comes over you, and I get that every single time that I ride the ride. So Millennium Force is definitely at the top of my list.
Millennium Force is my definite favorite. I'm kind of biased on that too because I've been riding it since it debuted in 2000. But what would you say are your second and third? And what's your top 5? What is your top 5?
Just at Cedar Point?
Yeah.
All right. Well, next up, I was terrified of this ride for a really long time, and I've grown to love it over the past few years. Top Thrill Dragster, even though it's only 17 seconds long, it's over 400 feet tall, and you literally feel like you are shooting off into the sky, and it is just unreal. So I was terrified to ride it for many years, and now that I finally have ridden it multiple times, I've grown to love it and not close my eyes and scream the entire time, so I feel like I enjoy it more. So I'd have to say right now that's probably my second favorite ride. And after that, Maverick, which was built in 2007, it's a great B&M roller coaster, and I enjoy riding that. And that's over in the back of the park.
What about your fourth and fifth?
All right, so fourth I would have to say is Wicked Twister, and that is the tallest inverted roller coaster in the world. And after that, I would have to say Magnum. And Magnum for a long time actually held the world record for the tallest roller coaster many years ago. And that's a classic that you just can't pass up. And you can't forget about Blue Streak, okay? So
Yeah,
Blue
you definitely
Streak's
can't
been,
forget
yeah.
about Blue Streak. Blue Streak is definitely a classic probably one of the best classic Woodies I've ridden.
Yeah, so you can't go to the park and not ride it. It's just an incomplete experience at Cedar Point, and any true roller coaster enthusiast will agree with me and value Blue Streak, even though it is going to be 50 years old. Correct?
Yep.
50 years old next year. So it's 50 years old, so it's definitely has a lot of history to it. It's a smaller roller coaster, but it's a great wooden roller coaster, and it's a staple at Cedar Point. So if anybody goes to Cedar Point, they have to complete the experience by riding Blue Streak.
Definitely, I truly believe that. Besides riding roller coasters all day, what do you enjoy doing at Cedar Point that does not involve roller coasters? Like, what kind of stuff do they have to do at Cedar Point if you're not a big coaster fan, but you still want to go to have the complete experience.
Well, one of the reasons that I love Cedar Point and it is my favorite amusement park is because I believe that it truly appeals to everybody. Anybody can go there and have a great day, whether it be they want to ride water rides. So there's a water park attached to Cedar Point. There is the beach right next to Cedar Point. So if you're not into the roller coasters, you can always take a walk along the beach. They've got great food, just like any amusement park would, and lots of games to play. There's a great area for the kids. There's even a carousel, which I occasionally do ride, I will admit. And one of my favorite things is after I ride the Millennium Force, I always walk to Maverick after that, and you go through Frontier Town, and you can see the petting zoo that's there, and I just love animals, so it's always nice to see that, and it's a true overall experience. So they have great roller coasters, but that's just the beginning, and they truly have something for everyone, and I would just encourage everybody to go there. I truly feel like they can, find something that speaks to them, and you can do it all day long, and people are there from the moment they sing the national anthem at the morning when the park first opens until the last ride at night at 10 o'clock.
Well, speaking of waiting around for the national anthem, how do you like the new entrance at the park?
It's great. It has totally revamped the look of Cedar Point, and Gatekeeper couldn't have been named anything better. It's the keeper of the gates. It's flying across you as you enter the park. You just get no better welcoming to a park than Cedar Point, and I think the new entrance has been great. The keyholes are awesome, and it just really adds a unique look to the park that I think makes it unique to Cedar Point.
All right. How often do you do these other activities like the walk along the beach or say the water park or just other stuff around Cedar Point?
Well, depending on who I'm with, I will go to the water park or walk along the beach, and I would say I would ride the roller coasters probably 90% of the time and then do everything else 10% of the time. But again, it's totally up to you and how you want your experience to be at Cedar Point. Would you agree?
I mean, I'm always there for the coasters. But
yeah.
I mean, I like to ride the train, I guess.
The train's nice to take a little break. I do get worn out midday, especially when it's really busy. I'd say the time when I don't ride the roller coasters is I've kind of gotten it down pat by now. You get in for early entry, you ride the most popular rides. Once everyone gets into the park, you can ride some of the rides that aren't so popular and not wait in line. But then towards the middle of the day, probably 1 to 5 o'clock is when it's the most busy, and all of the rides are going to be 1 to 2.5 hours. So that's the time when I like to stop and get a bite to eat or take a walk on the beach or play a game here or there. You can even go see shows. That's nice. Take the train ride around and you can relax a little bit, wait for the lines to die down, and then hop back in line later in the evening when they're not as long. So if you can figure that out, I think that you'll definitely enjoy your day much better, and you won't be only able to ride 2 or 3 rides a day.
Now, about the train, are you the kind of person that likes to ride the train and go around more than one cycle?
No, but if you want to, you can go around all day long. It doesn't stop, and they don't make you get off.
I like going around 2 or 3 times before I get off when I'm lazy day. So I know. You think Cedar Point is a great park, and what do you think Cedar Point? Do you think Cedar Point is missing anything? Do you think there's an element of Cedar Point that could be better, or do you think they could use a certain type of ride or something like that?
Well, as far as the rides go, it's great because they are actually one of the only parks that offers roller coasters in all of the 4 height categories. So 100 feet tall, 200 feet tall, 300 feet tall, and 400 feet tall. So it can really appeal to everyone. However, as somebody that does go to Kings Island a lot, they have an amazing children's area at Kings Island, and I think that Cedar Point could appeal to the younger kids that go to the amusement park a little bit better. And I think that if they would put that in their plans for 5 or 10 years down the road, I think that would be a smart decision they could make and expand the children's section a little bit. But you can't complain. They still have kid rides there, but if you compare it to Kings Island, Kings Island's the best in the world, and when I go there and I see that, I can see how Cedar Point can make some improvements in that area.
I totally agree with you about the kids area stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, Jess. Thank you for your time. I can't believe that it's the end of the season. It's the end of the coaster season already, but the next one will be upon us pretty soon here. But it was definitely nice talking to you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a good day.